Barely 48 hours ago, soldiers in the West African country of Niger announced a coup on national television, stating that they had dissolved the constitution, suspended all institutions, and closed the nation's border, garnering mixed reaction and widespread criticism among the international community. Military coups were a regular occurrence in Africa in the decades after independence, but there is concern they are starting to become more frequent in recent times. In this special report, Clearview's correspondent gives us an insight into some of the major military takeovers the continent has ever witnessed.
In February 2023, leaders of the 55-nation bloc met in Addis Ababa, capital of Ethiopia, to discuss a number of challenges facing the African continent, including coups, conflict, and climate change. At the end of the summit, the African Union insisted it had zero tolerance for undemocratic changes of power and vowed to push through a continent-wide free trade deal. However, barely 5 months after the summit, Niger Republic has joined the list of recent coups the continent has witnessed. A coup, simply defined as an illegal and open attempt by the military or other civilian officials to overthrow and unseat sitting leaders, was a common phenomenon in the post-independence life of many African countries. Reports show that there have been over 200 such attempts in Africa, including Nigeria, since the 1950s, and about half of these have been successful, lasting more than 7 days. Nigeria had a reputation for military coups in the years following independence, with 5 successful coups d'etats. However, the most recent coup occurred in 1993, and there have been no significant further attempts under the Fourth Nigerian Republic, which restored multi-party democracy in 1999. Burundi's history has been marked by 11 separate coups, mostly driven by the tensions between the Hutu and Tutsi communities. Sierra Leone experienced 3 coups between 1967 and 1968, and another one in 1971. Between 1992 and 1997, it experienced 5 further coup attempts. Ghana has also had its share of military coups, with 8 in 2 decades. The first was in 1966, when Kwame Nkrumah was removed from power, and in the following year, there was an unsuccessful attempt by junior army officers. Many analysts believed that coups were going out of fashion in Africa by 2015 due to the limited cases on the continent. However, lately, they appear to be on the rise or dangerously back in fashion. In 2017 in Zimbabwe, a military takeover brought Robert Mugabe's 37-year rule to an end. In April 2021, after the death of the Chadian leader Idris Deby, the army installed his son as interim president, leading a transitional military council. His opponents called it a dynastic coup. In 2022, there were 2 takeovers in Burkina Faso, as well as failed coup attempts in Guinea-Bissau, the Gambia, and the island nation of São Tomé and Príncipe. Burkina Faso in West Africa has had the most successful coups, with 9 takeovers and only 1 failed coup. In the last 3 years, countries such as Guinea-Bissau, Guinea, Mali, Chad, Sudan, and Burkina Faso have experienced a series of successful and failed military takeovers. From the foiled attempt to overthrow Guinea-Bissau's current president, Umaro Sissoko Embalo, on 1 February 2022, to Burkina Faso's most recent successful coup, in which President Roch-Marc Christian Kabore was disposed by an army led by Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Dimiba on 24 January 2022, and the overthrowing of Nigerian President Mohamed Bazoum on 27 July 2023. These coups underscore how West African states are the most burdened by military coups on the continent, and has raised several concerns in the sub-region and questions the relevance of the regional organization, the Economic Community of West African States (ECOWAS), with respect to the maintenance of peace and security in West Africa. Although the new model of coups have been slightly different, with less violence, and in some cases they have occurred with popular support from members of the public, it is important for all stakeholders and the international community to come in and ensure that the tenets of democracy are upheld in every society. Gloria Atta, reporting for Clearview News.